So I'm just going to mute everybody. Just a quick thumbs up if everybody can see me and hear me okay, and see my mat in the background. Perfect. Okie dokie. Cool. So I'm going to mute everybody now. Okie dokie. So we're going to start on our mat standing. So if everybody comes to their mat for me. I'm going to keep my phone handy because I've got a tendency to get a little bit exercise happy and start overrunning class. So let's just have a little bit of a standing warm up to begin with. Okay, so just find your Pilates stance on your mat with your feet hip width apart. Just make sure that you're not screwing up or clawing with the toe. Just make sure the toes are nice and spread and the weight's even through the feet. And the shoulders are just coming down away from the ears. If today has made them go ooh, or come forwards, just soften them down. Feel the inner shoulder blades at the back there, gently squeeze together. And it's not a huge movement so that you stick out your chest. You're just opening your chest and drawing your shoulders or your shoulder blades together at the back. As if you're going to slide your shoulder blades into your back pocket. Think of that. Okay, if you had jeans on. Okay, lengthening from the crown of the head. So bringing your chin in slightly. And you can always do this with your hands if you want. One hand on the front of the chin and one hand on the back of the head. And you're using your front hand to bring your chin in and down slightly. And the back hand, you're lengthening the back of your head into that hand. So you're really creating a nice long cervical spine. And then just keep your arms down. Okay, just be wary of where your weight is. Make sure that you're not leaning forwards and that all the weight's in the balls of the feet or that you're back in the heels. Just try to spread the weight evenly down through both legs. Okie dokie. Let's just softly bring your chin in towards your chest. Just let the gentle head movement come forwards. Take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, just lift the chin up. Inhale there, exhale again, full chin to chest. Just let the weight of the head gently soften forwards. Take a breath in and exhale, gently lift. Okay, one more time. Now this time, if you want to, you can place a little bit more pressure on the back of the head and the neck by interlinking the fingers and applying just a little bit of pressure into that forward stretch. Or you could just have your arms hanging down in front. Just maybe take a slight more upper body curve just to relax through the back and the shoulders there. And then come back up straight. Okay, we're going to turn the head to the left. So rotate your head to the left. We're then going to look down towards the left shoulder. And then keep the head moving in a half head circle. So you come in towards the chest. Over to look to the right shoulder, and then you look out to the right. And then you're going to look down to the right shoulder, circle the head forwards towards the chest, round to the left, and then up to the left. And just do that one more time either way. So we're doing a half head and neck circle. Just keeping the movement nice and slow. Seeing how the upper neck, the upper shoulders and the back feel as you're doing this. That's it, one more time. This time, once you've finish looking to the left, bring your eye line to the center again, and then we're going to tilt left ear to left shoulder. Okay, to keep this right shoulder down, take your left hand across onto the top of the right shoulder and just make sure it anchors down. Okay, and then take the left hand onto the side of the head and relax the elbow. And then staying in that stretch, keep your head and neck and arm exactly where it is, but the arm out to the side, so my right arm is going to go out to shoulder height with my fingertips staying floppy down towards the mat. And then just 3 times I'm going to lift my fingertips up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to breathe out and lower them down. So I'm going to breathe in and lift. So adding this finger and hand, or the wrist movement, sorry, you might get a little bit more of a nervy stretch up through the arm and the hands, so just see how that feels for you. And then release the arms, take a couple of shoulder rolls in the middle. And then we'll do that stretch to the other side. So right ear to right shoulder. So it's just a movement of the head and the neck, and your eye line is forwards. Okay. Whichever way you've taken your head over to the side, that same arm is going to go onto the opposite shoulder to keep it down. That's it. And then once the shoulder's down, take the hand gently onto the side of the head to increase that stretch even further. Then if you want to, you can float that free left arm out to shoulder height with the fingertips facing down. And just see if that gives you a bit more of a stretch down through your arm. And then 3 times, you're going to lift the fingers up towards the ceiling and lower them back down. So you're just creating that flexion and extension through your wrist, but it might be creating a little bit more of a nervy stretch through your arm, maybe even into the neck. And then release down, arms down, another 2 shoulder rolls. Inhaling to bring the shoulders up and exhale to soften down. And again, inhaling up and soften down. This time, bring the hands onto the tips of the shoulders, and let's do 4 shoulder rolls, but leading with the elbows this time. So you get a nice juicy movement as we inhale to lift up, exhale to open out and down. 2 more. Inhale, extend up, exhale, open and soften. Inhale up. This time, release the arms and let's take both arms gently into that full roll. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, open them out and down. And this is just nice and gentle. Try not, as you open out your arms to the side, try not to thrust your body and your hips forwards. Keep the core in towards the spine as you take that last one. Inhaling up and exhale, soften down. Good. After that, we'll just give the shoulders a little bit of a shake out. Okay, taking both arms out to the side this time, palms down towards the mat. Keeping your knees slightly bent and your feet are still hip width. Draw your belly in towards your spine. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, keep your hips facing forwards, but rotate just your upper body round to the left for me. And you're looking the way you're going. You're breathing in to hold, and you're breathing out to come back. Inhale in the center. Exhale, same thing. The upper body from the waist is going to rotate to the right. Inhale to hold, and exhale to come back. 1 more time either way. Inhale, soften those shoulders in the middle. Exhale, rotate just the upper body round to the left. So you need to pull your opposite right hip back. Inhale, hold. Exhale, come back. 1 more time. Inhaling in the middle. Exhale, rotate round to the right the last time. Inhale, hold. Exhale, come back. And release those arms down. Another couple of shoulder rolls. And then just give the arms, the wrists a little shake. And then the same thing with the ankles and the toes and the feet. Shake everything out. Okay, and then just take a few ankle circles each way. So I'm standing on my right leg. Left leg is tapped out in front. Hands are on my hips. I'm nice and balanced through that standing leg. I lift my left leg off. And then I'm going to circle my ankle and my foot 6 times outwards and 6 inwards. That's it. The whole time, imagining that I'm being pulled up towards the ceiling, back that piece of string. And then I'm going to change and circle my foot and my ankle inwards. Hopefully you've not got as much clicking and creaking as I have in these ankle circles. And just do the other side when you're ready. So I'm transferring my weight down through my left leg. Staying nice and tall, engaging through the core, shoulders away from ears. Lifting off that moving leg, right leg this time. And trying to create as big a movement within the foot and the ankle and the toes as possible. So you've got 6 outwards and then 6 inwards for those circles. Quite a simple movement, but a really nice thing to do. Okay, stand a little bit wider, keep those hands on those hips. Okay, we're going to bend the knees a little bit more, transfer the weight to the right leg and lift off the left heel. And just spend a moment, maybe just gently pulsing into that bend, lifting the left heel off and feeling the stretch through the underneath side of the foot. And then transfer over to the other way when you're ready, making sure both knees stay soft. That's it, I'm still tall in the spine and my shoulders are still away from my ears. Let's transfer over for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Good, from there, bring both feet underneath the hips and we're just going to do some plane rises. So if you do need to come to some support in the room, like the sideboard or the sofa, feel free. Otherwise, hands on the hips, shoulders down. Imagine I've put that imaginary football in between your ankles and your knees. So your ankles are going to stay that far apart as you squeeze your inner thighs and your core and take that gentle rise. Imagine someone's pulling you from the crown of the head, they're holding you up, and then try and resist lowering those heels. So the whole time you've got that feeling of going up, not just on the rise up, but actually on your lower. Imagine that you don't want to lower those heels down. 3 more times. So I'm inhaling as I lift my heels, squeezing my inner ankles, try not to let them balloon out. Exhale, squeeze the inner ankles still as you lower down, squeezing pelvic floor and core as well. And I know because we're concentrating on balance and ankles, try not to let the shoulders come up by your ears, keep them down. How's that control into those rises? 1 more time, keeping the chin in slightly, so you're feeling that length from the crown of the neck and the head. And then lower slowly down. Good, and then bend both knees and just gently bounce, alternating heel raises a few times, keeping the hips still, so we're trying not to let this kind of wiggle action happen. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Okay, we've got one little balance exercise. We're going to leave the rest of the balance exercises for tomorrow, Thursday thighs. So for today, for this one, I want you to take your arms out in front of you, parallel to the chest, palms facing. Okay, so if I face the side, they're just here. Just try not to let those shoulders round forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and bring your chin in slightly. Okay, those that do my class usually know this one. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, I'm going to bend my left elbow back to rotate my body towards the left. My hips stay facing the front. I breathe in and I breathe out and rotate back. Breathe in there, breathe out, pull the right elbow back this time and it opens the right shoulder as if I'm pulling a bow and arrow back with me. Hips stay facing center and then I close back in. So that's just the arms. If you want to, as you pull the arm back, you gradually peel off that foot to lift the knee to a single knee lift. You've rotated over that leg into the twist, and then you're going to return the leg down and the arm back to center. Okay, so go again on the other side. So it's either just the elbow pulling back as if you're pulling an arrow, or you're going to peel off the same leg on that side to a knee lift. The knee stays facing center and our body rotates over it. And then lower down. 1 more time either way. So I'm pulling my right elbow back. I'm starting to peel off my left elbow. I'm starting to peel off my left leg as well. So my body is rotating over that front left leg to balance and hold. And then I'm lowering it down and coming into the center. Try that 1 more time. I'm just going to have a quick look. So it's same arm as leg, which I know we don't often do. That's it. And you're turning your eye line to face the way that you're going as well, which is going to challenge that balance even more. Okay, and after that last one, just bring the arms out, relax the arms down, and we'll just take 3 double arm raises and lowers. So palms facing up, breathing in to lift the arms up, and breathing out to press them down. And again, inhaling up, and exhale down. And 1 more, inhaling up, and exhale, lower down. Okay, let's just take 2 roll downs through the spine, nice and plain. So if I face the side to demo, remembering you can have your hands on your thighs and stop halfway if you need to. So arms by your side, feet hip width. We're going to breathe in to lift the chin. We're going to breathe out and tuck the chin in towards the chest. Really relax. Let those arms and hands dangle down in front of you. Keep your chin tucked in. Keep the knees slightly soft, and we're just rolling over into a forward fold. Okay, so at the bottom, we're either here, making sure the head's relaxed, or a little bit higher with the hands on the thighs for some support. Give that head a little wobble. Take a nice couple of breaths, and then 1 more deep breath. And as you breathe out, bend the knees, round the tailbone underneath, scoop and roll up through the spine really, really slowly. So you're feeling how the spine is to fold and unfold. Take a couple of shoulder rolls at the top and do another one. So inhale to lift the chin. Exhale to roll down through the spine. Relax, keep the knees soft, relax the head, make sure there isn't any unwanted tension in the head and the neck. And if you're down there and want a little bit more stretch, just think of tilting the pelvis forwards and sending your hip bones up towards the ceiling. So instead of just locking back the knees and straightening the legs, think of that extra stretch as coming from the tilt of the pelvis. Take a couple of breaths there, wherever you are, relax your head. Last breath in, and then as we breathe out, bend the knees, round the spine underneath you. Keep that relaxed feeling in the upper body, and you're unfolding back up to standing. Once you've replaced and restack the vertebrae, take a couple of shoulder rolls at the top, and then just one arm raise and lower. And exhale, lower. Okay, so that's it for standing for today. We're going to come down into a 4-point kneeling position. So if you know you need a bit more padding underneath your knees for 4-point, make sure you've got your extra padding. So first one in 4-point is going to be more of a mobility exercise than anything else. So from your 4-point kneeling position, and we're all going to do the same level, you're going to take your left leg behind you. Now I've purposely come slightly further down my mat so that this foot is going to be able to slide along the floor. So if you are on a mat, to stop yourself getting caught on the edges of your mat, move yourself a little bit further down. Keep a nice neutral spine, soften those elbows, engage through the core and extend the left leg behind. You can either be on the toes or the front of the foot. The front of the foot might be easier. So mobility-wise, keeping the hips facing the mat, I'm going to open my left leg out to the side. Okay, and then going to slide it back round to cross the midline of the body towards the right, and I'm going to look behind towards that back foot. So I've now curved my body. I'm going to return my leg through centre and then back out to the side. I'm then going to return it back through centre, across the midline of the body. I'm going to look towards my foot. So I've created a side bend to the right. 2 more times this way. So you're opening your leg out to the side, keeping that left hip down, don't let it hitch. Slide it back, slide it across the midline, look towards your foot behind you. 1 more time. That's it. So we're sliding. And then we're returning, we're crossing the midline to bend, to look towards that back foot. Return it back in line with the body and then return that knee back in, and we're going to go with the right leg. So we extend the right leg behind us on the floor. Keeping the core engaged, the shoulders away from the ears. Slide the right leg away from you, out to the side, without letting that right hip hitch. Then slide it back through the midline, and then it crosses the midline, so it goes towards the left, and you're going to look towards your foot. So you create that nice C-shaped curve in the body. And then take it through the middle and out to the side again. So these are just nice and slow, but you're really sort of noticing how your body feels, and particularly as that leg comes across the midline of the body and you look towards that back foot. When you feel that real twist. 1 more time, opening out to the side, sliding it back. Crossing the midline, looking towards that foot, finding that bend, bringing the leg back in, return the knees to hip width, and let's just take 4 cats and cows. So we're going to come to an anterior tilt, to a cow stretch, so we're going to look forwards, shoulders away from ears, we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to round our belly button away from the mat, look down towards our chest, tuck our tailbone underneath. Inhale there. Exhale, move through the middle. 3 more. Inhale as we look forward, shoulders soft. Exhale, round. Really think of lifting the middle of your shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Inhale there, exhale, soften through. 2 more times. Hopefully that feels quite a nice opening stretch to do for your spine. Just working those 2 curvatures of the spine. And release. And 1 more. So we've got cow here, shoulders down into your back pockets. Exhale up into angry cat. Good, and then from there, open the knees a little bit wider, bring the feet together. If you need to, place some padding in between bottom and heels, and you're going to sit back into a child pose stretch. Just with the arms gently in front of you, elbows soft, forehead down to the mat. And just use this as your first release. Take 3 deep breaths, imagining that you're breathing into your lower back and your lower belly. So the breath in is an expansion, and the breath out is the soften and the release. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, release. And 1 more. And exhale, release. Good. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Gently roll and push up from there. Take anything that's been underneath the heels. Okie dokie. So we're going to do a shoulder tap set of 10 into shoulder tap into rotation. So in these next exercises, you can either do them all from a square 4-point kneeling position, a 3/4 plank, so you're walking your hands slightly further forwards and wider, restacking the shoulders over the wrists and bringing the hips down and in line, so you've got that diagonal line from your shoulders, your hips to your knees, or you could be in full plank. Okay, so choosing your level, I'm just going to demo from 4-point kneeling for this one. You're looking down to your mat, you're going to take your right hand and just tap it on your left shoulder and then release down. Okay, left hand to right shoulder and release down. So we've got 8 more. So you might have walked to 3/4 plank and you're taking your shoulder taps, holding a sturdy 3/4 plank. Let's go for 6 more. That's it. Try not to let the body swing as you're taking those shoulder taps. And if you're in full plank, try not to do a panic tap. Keep that nice and steady, nice and controlled. 2, 1, good. Push up. Bring the knees down if you're in full plank and just sit back to child's pose for a second. Quick release in child's pose. Okay, now this time, if you just watch me, we're going to add a rotation. So again, whichever level you've been at, we're going to take the left hand across to the right shoulder. We're then going to open the left arm into thoracic rotation. Left hand is going to come back to the right shoulder and then down. And then we do it the other side. Right hand to left shoulder. Right arm opens to rotate us. Right hand taps back. And then we lower down. We're going to do that 10 times, either from a solid 4-point, a 3/4 plank here, so the core's engaged a little bit more, or full plank. Looking down to the mat, come to your level, shoulders away from ears. So let's go left hand to right shoulder, then open out, then return, and then tap down. So just keep going, alternating sides. So you've got 4 movements. You've got your tap across, you've got your open, you've got your tap back across, and then you've got your tap down. 4. That's it. Just try and keep the breathing nice and easy for this one. It's all about keeping the core really engaged and those shoulders soft. That's it. Good. Another 4. Alternating sides. If you want to keep it really easy, come back to 4-point and just take the rotations and the shoulder taps from 4-point, drawing your belly in towards your spine. One last time, whichever side you've got to do last. Bring it back to center. Come back to 4-point if you've been in full plank. And again, let's just soften back into child's pose. So hopefully you all were okay getting your levels for that one. Soften the forehead down. And again, take a couple of nice juicy deep breaths into that lower back. Okay, last one in a 4-point. Quick demonstration from me for this one. Level ones, we're going to be doing a diagonal reach backwards with a little scoop of your abdominals. So level one, you're going to be in a 4-point and you're going to take your right hand behind your left knee, as if you're doing a little mini threading the needle, to reach behind and then replace the hand. And you're going to do the same on the left with a little abdominal scoop and behind. 3/4 plankers, you'll do exactly the same, but you'll move your hips up a little bit as you take the reach and then come down to 3/4 plank in between. Okay, full plankers, you'll come to your full plank, you'll breathe in, as you breathe out, you'll slightly pike the hips and take the hand to the opposite outer ankle and then come back to full plank. Then take the opposite hand to the other ankle and then come back, okay? And we're going to do that 10 times. I'm going to demonstrate level one, so if in any doubt, stick with me in level one. Okay, so from either a sturdy 4-point kneeling, a 3/4 plank with those shoulders down and the tummy lifted, or a full plank, sorry. We're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, take your right hand to the outside of the left knee or the left ankle. Inhale, tap the right hand back. Exhale, left hand to outside of right ankle. Inhale, tap back. We've got 8 more. So you're either just keeping it a little bit of an abdominal tuck with a diagonal backwards reach, if you're in 4-point kneeling like I am. If you are in 3/4 plank, you're slightly bringing up your hips with me and doing a little bit more of a twist. And then returning back to 3/4 plank and twisting out of it. Those in full plank, you are piking your hips a little bit more, coming into that twist and then returning to a solid full plank. And I've stopped counting. I think we've maybe got 1 more to do either side. Come down at any point if you need to. That's it. So after that last one, wherever you've been, the last child's pose release, soften those hips back towards the knees. Soften the head down. This time you can have your arms behind you if it's more comfortable. Whew, and breathe. Good, and then roll up through the spine and come up to seated. So first side kneeling exercise. I'm going to use a cushion for underneath my stabilizing knee. Okay, so I'd recommend you to probably put something underneath your right knee. So you're going to put the cushion down. I'm going to kneel onto the cushion on my right knee. And then I'm going to take my left leg out to the side. My left foot is flat. My hips, knees and toes are facing forwards. Okay, so I'll just give you a minute to get into that. If that's too uncomfortable and it's compressing in your left hip, and you'd rather bring this leg in front of you and slightly externally rotated, you can bring that leg here. And then we're going to place the hands either side of the head. So you're either here, or your left leg is flat to the mat, parallel to the side. We're going to take an oblique crunch. So we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to soften down to the right. And we're going to breathe in and return. Okay, now I'm only going to bend down quite small range of movement. Those that want to, we're going to do 6 more. You could go a little bit lower and recover up from there. Really think about your core being the center of this movement. So you're doing a slow side bend down to the side that you're supported on, and then slowly returning up. And because we've got the hands here, we're really involving that core to hinge us to the side and hinge back up. Just do 1 more for me to the side and pause at the top. I'm going to show you the next variation. This time you're going to hinge down. You're going to hold the hinge. Then you're going to rotate your chest towards the mat. You're then going to pivot back and then return up. So let's try 6 of those. We're going to hinge to the side. We're going to rotate chest facing the mat. Rotate back and come up. 4 more. Breathe. And 3. So again, it's up to you how big your range of movement is. If you want to keep it nice and tiny and just come to here, that's absolutely fine. And if this left hip is starting to compress, bring it out in front of you and take that movement with the leg in front. One more time, side bend, thoracic twist, chest opens to the mat. We open back and we come back up. Okay, keep the legs there. Take the arms up straight. Soften your shoulders. Okay, so now we've got a longer lever of the arms. This is going to be worked a little bit more. So we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to hinge over. We're going to breathe in and hold, lengthening through the fingertips. I'm going to breathe out to come back up. Breathe in the center. Breathe out and fold. Hold the hinge. And breathe out, come back up. 2 more times. So we inhale, lengthen. We exhale, we hinge. Inhale, lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, come up. 1 more time. Inhale. So this is really good toning for your waist. Inhale, hold. Exhale, come up. Good. Take a couple of shoulder rolls. Bring those legs down. Okay, and we're going to swap sides. So cushion needs to go underneath the left side. Okay, right leg is now going to go out to the side parallel. Foot flat, so my toes are facing forwards. Or you could bring the leg here if you want to. Hands on either side of the head, lifting out of the hips, engaging in the core, keeping the shoulders soft. Breathing in, breathe out, we're going to fold to the left. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out again. Inhale, come up, 4 more. So this is just a plain oblique crunch, just to start with. And feel how much control needs to come from your core, especially on the return. 2 more. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Last one before we add the rotation. So we're going to come up. This time we're going to soften down. We're going to hold. We're going to rotate our chest towards the mat. Going to pivot back and then come up. 4 more. We go down. We rotate towards the mat. We come back and then we come up. 3 more. So you maybe keep it really tiny if you need to. Okay, or you could bring that foot back in front. Feels a little bit strange on the rotation if you've got your foot in front. Involves a little bit more balance. 1 more time. Side crunch. Into chest to mat. Open out and come back. From there, both hands up. Soften those shoulders. So I can have my arms up and my shoulders up, or my arms up and my shoulders down, and that's what I want you to do. Lower those shoulders away from your ears. Draw your core in. Inhaling there. Exhale, side bend. So you're almost trying to create that diagonal line to your extended leg. You're breathing in to hold, and you're breathing out to come up. Inhale there. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, hold. Exhale, come back up. 3 more. So lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, support with the core into that hinge. Hold the hinge to breathe in, lengthening through the fingers. And exhale, come up. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, hold. Exhale, come up. Good. Release the arms down. Bring those legs in. Give those shoulders a little circle or maybe a little shake out. Okay, then we're going to come and do a seated mermaid stretch. So I'm going to sit down to my right, on my right bum cheek, on my right hip. My right leg is going to be forwards, and I'm going to gently take my left leg behind me. Okay? So one leg is in front, one leg is behind. Don't worry too much about the bend on those knees. Just come to where it's comfortable for you. And if it's not comfortable, having one leg in front and one leg behind, do just come to either cross-legged or seated with the legs out if that's too much for you. Okay, otherwise right leg in front, left leg behind. I'm going to keep my right arm on the floor, and I'm going to take my left arm over. So I bend towards the right. Breathing in there. Exhale, I'm going to lower down the other way. So my left hand is going to come to the floor or my left knee, and I'm going to take my right arm up the other way. That's the harder one because it's where your hips don't want to go to. And then lower the right arm, left arm comes over. So this is just a nice dynamic stretch, changing sides from seated mermaid. Probably all don't feel like mermaids right now. That's you all look like mermaids. Everyone looks like they're doing it right. So just keeping it nice and easy. One more time, right arm comes over. Good, release out. Bring the legs round the front if you've been sat in the same position as me, and switch sides. So left leg in front, right leg behind. Or if it's more comfortable, sit cross-legged or with both legs out in front of you. Okay, left hand down to the mat, right arm's going to come up and over. Keep your gaze down towards the legs so that you're not jarring in the neck. This right arm, as it comes back, can either go to the floor or to the right knee to hold and help you come up and over. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Inhale back, exhale. One more time either way. So we're really just learning to open up through the side body. You might feel these stretches down into the hips as well. That's it. One more time, coming up and over. Brilliant. Okay, release. Take a couple of shoulder rolls. Okay, we're going to come down to our mat and do one core before we come back up and work in that side kneeling position for glutes. Okay, so we're going to come down and we're going to do our ladybug exercise. Okay, if any of you need to watch a couple of repetitions, if you're not sure what this exercise is, I will talk you through it, but if you need to, maybe just stay sat up and watch a couple and then join in when you can. So, ladybug, we're going to be working on taking an arm and a leg away from the midline of the body, but keeping your spine in neutral and your core engaged. So, starting with your knees bent and your feet flat. Imagine I put a stress ball underneath your lower back, and you're going to press your lower back into that stress ball to about 30–40%. So it's not a full posterior tilt, it's just pressing and closing down, feeling the core engage. Okay, and then you're going to lift your right leg to a single tabletop, knee above hip, shin parallel to the ceiling. And then both arms are going to lift off in front of the chest. Okay, now level ones here, you are just going to hinge one leg down to the mat as you take the opposite arm behind and then return it back in. Remembering that this knee stays at 90 and you hinge from the hip. Okay, so you're exhaling as you go away in opposition and inhaling as you return. Level twos, you know this one, you can do it from double tabletop and hinge one leg down and away as the opposite arm goes away, but keep your still leg in tabletop. So you're either working from a double tabletop to take these, or a single. And I'm working with the right leg and the left arm to begin with. So join in this when you're ready. So a bit of coordination comes in here. Exhaling as you release right leg and left arm. Inhaling as you return back up. Do 3 more, either with the stabilising still leg flat to the mat, like mine is, or from both legs in double tabletop. So you've got to work a little bit harder with that core. One more time. Exhale, arm and leg in opposition away. Inhale, return. Good. If you've just been single, bring one leg down and switch legs. Otherwise, you're pausing in tabletop. Both arms above the chest. Exhale, this time hinge from the left hip to dip the left toes down as you take the right arm behind you. Inhale, return to center. So we're learning to isolate the arm and leg in opposition, but keep the core nice and engaged. So we're keeping a neutral spine, we're keeping the lower back fixed to the mat, and we're exhaling on the way out and inhaling return. So the harder option, you'd have both legs lifted, And you're extending one leg away and returning back in. Do 3 more. Exhale away. Inhale in. 2. That's it. Remember that the leg is hinging from the hip. We're not straightening it out, staying bent. That's it. Bring it back in. Release those legs down. Let's just come into a full body stretch. Both legs down and straight. This time you can let the ribs slide on the back arch a little bit. As you take the arms back and over behind you, and just take a nice deep breath in there. And out. One more time. Nice deep breath in. And out to soften. Good. Okay, bend the knees, bring your arms by your side. Gently come up as you need to. And we're going to come back into a side position in a moment. Quick time check for me. Okay, so glutes in side lying can either be done, level 1s, you're going to come down onto your flat right side with your cushion in between your shoulder and your arm. Your underneath leg's bent, your top hand is on your hip, and your top leg is just along the mat. Okay, we're going to be doing side leg abductions and then side leg circles. The rest of you, you're going to come back to that side kneeling position you had before. Put some padding underneath the right knee, extend the left leg out, and then you guys are going to come the right hand down to the mat. If you're overreaching down to that mat, you might want to get another cushion or a blanket and pop it underneath that hand. Okay, and you guys, the left leg is extended, left hand is on the hip. So you're either flat on your right side or up on your right knee. Left leg is long and on the floor. We're going to breathe in here. As we breathe out, we're going to squeeze and lift the left leg off the floor and inhale, lower down. So if you're flat on your right side, it's not a huge lift in any of these positions. You're more thinking about lengthening that left foot away from you as you lift it and tapping it down, keeping your hips, knees and toes facing the front. Good, 2 more. So you exhale, lift, inhale, tap. One more time, exhale, lift, inhale, tap. Now this time, you're going to lift the leg to just about hip width. You're going to flex your foot and you're going to circle the leg back for 8, 7, quite small, 6, 5, keeping the rest of the body still, so squeeze the core, 3, 2, 1, circle forwards for 8, 7, lift out of the right side, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, lower that leg down, come up. If you're on your right side, we're going to switch onto our left. Okay, so place the cushioning underneath the left knee. Extra padding to stop you overreaching for the floor on the left side. Right leg out. Okay, so you either come down to a flat left side or you're up on your left knee, you soften the left arm down and right hand is on your hip. Make sure your feet, knees and toes are facing forwards. Breathing in there, breathe out, we go for a leg abduction lift. Inhale, so abduction is taking the leg away from the midline and adduction is bringing it in. So we're working the abductors of the hip. So hopefully where I'm pointing to, that's where you're feeling this exercise. 4 more, 4. You might also feel it in the glute on this supporting side as well, because you'll be working your glute medius on that supporting side if you're up on the knee. 1 more time. That's it. Use your core to lift the body weight off. Lift again, flex the foot, circle back for 8, 7. So it's just the leg that's circling, the core staying still. 4, 3, 2, push through the heel, change for 8, 7. Wow, I can feel this burn. 6, 5, push the heel. 4, 3, lift the core. 2, 1, and lower down. Oh, that was a juicy one. Maybe just come to sit on the knees and just wiggle those hips side to side just for a second. We will do my proper glute stretch in a moment. Okay, come off the padding. Come down onto your backs for a glute stretch. Oh, that really was burning, both glutes. So right leg is going to cross, or right ankle is going to cross over left knee. My right knee is just going to open out to the side, but I'm keeping both of my hip bones facing up. I'm going to hold underneath my supporting left leg and then draw both legs in. Oh, crikey. So I can feel that stretch coming up through that right hip and glute area. If you want to, you could also straighten that underneath leg and bring the legs a little bit further in. If this stretch is not working for you at all, you could come up, come back to your hurdle position here and lower your body over that front right leg. So if you know that that glute stretch works better for you, come to that. Otherwise, breathe into whichever glute stretch you're in for another 3 deep breaths. If you're in this one with the right leg crossed over the left, just slightly let your legs hinge towards the left and it will open up through that right hip even more. So just a little hinge. Bring the knees back, return the legs down and switch legs. So left ankle over right knee, left knee out to the side, hips stay square, holding round underneath the leg. This might be good if you know you struggle to find your grip on the legs. This is where your dressing gown belt might come in handy. So if you think, you know, it wouldn't be a bad thing to have your dressing gown belt with you in class, just in case. So I've decided to extend my lower leg as well, or you can just keep it bent, or you can come up to hurdler position with the left leg in front. If you're in this position that I am, you're just going to let the legs hinge down towards the right hand side ever so slightly to open up through that left hip a bit more. And breathe if you're holding your breath. Take a few nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, and bring the legs square. Return the legs down and just come into a last full body stretch, both legs away, both arms up and over. Take a couple of nice deep breaths, just enjoying the length of the body, the stretch through the fingertips, right through to the tips of the toes. And then return your arms back down, bend the knees in, and we're going to come up to seated. Okay. So we are going to do a couple of hip opener stretches. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to kneel. Again, I'm going to kneel on a cushion. I'm going to kneel with my left knee on the cushion and take my right leg out in front of me. Okay. My legs are hip width apart and my hips, knees and toes are all facing forward, so nice and parallel. My hands are on my hips. So we're going to try and work out through this hip flexor on this left side. So a couple of different variations. You can either keep coming with me into the next variations or stop with the one that works for you. So with your hands on your hips, I want you to think of tucking your tailbone underneath you. So you're going to round and tuck into a posterior tilt, keeping your chest lifted and your shoulders down, and hopefully feel that that little bottom tuck underneath you is stretched up through the front of this thigh. Okay. Then take your arms up above your head, but keep that posterior pelvic tilt. So all we've done here is really lengthen from the front of the hip and the front of the body. Okay, stay where you are. I'm just going to face you so it's a little bit clearer. So you're here, pelvis tucked underneath. You're going to take a very slight side bend towards your right hand side. Very slight. So we're opening up even more down through that front left side. Okay, you could, keeping your core engaged, take a very slight spinal extension. So you're going backwards a little bit. Be really wary of the knee and stop and come back to this one if anything's feeling too much. Breathe, take a couple of deep breaths. You could also release the right hand down, lunge into that front right knee a bit more and take a deeper side bend if that worked for you. Okay, so I'm going to turn back the other way. One last little variation. So you might just be still here, feeling the front of the hip open, or you might want to take one hand down to the mat and the other hand is going to come and hold the ankle. And you're going to bend that knee. Now just be very careful of this back knee. Don't try it if you've got any particular knee issues. Make sure you've got padding underneath that knee. See if you can fold that back leg in a little bit. See how that stretches, it's quite an intense one. Bring it back down. From there, just briefly transfer your weight behind you to straighten the front leg a little bit. Keep a little bend on the front leg, lift the toes up and stick your bottom out. Keeping the chest lifted, just fold belly button towards thigh. So you're coming over now into a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Breathe. Good. Coming up, we turn the right leg in, switch sides. So right knee's on that cushion, left leg out in front. Hands on the hips. Basic hip flexor stretch, but a very good one. All you're going to do is tuck your tailbone underneath you, keeping the chest lifted and feel the stretch up the front of the supporting right thigh this time. Then maybe find the length of the arms just to add in that little lift. Engaging through your core, maybe add a little side bend towards that front leg. So going to the left with the body. A little bit of a back bend, very slightly. Come back to straight if you need to. Or you could bring the hand down and you could open that right arm across the body a little bit more. So see where you are, see where you feel is best. If in doubt, stick to the square stretch with the bottom tucked underneath. Possibly, if that back knee is comfortable, bring both hands down, bend the back knee and hold around that back ankle. Oh, she says she can't reach it. And then bring that leg in. This one's a very intense one on that back knee on the quad, so just be careful with that one. Breathe, soften the shoulders and release back down. Hinge the hips back, keep the front knee slightly bent, lift the toes and think of hinging the body over that front leg, sticking your bottom out, lifting your tailbone, keeping your shoulders down, chin in slightly and breathe there. That's it. Okay, last stretch. We're going to come to two knees. This is where you might want your pillow or another cushion. So if you just watch me, so you could have one pillow underneath the knees. I'm not going to use the one underneath my knees. I'm going to use my pillow to pop between my bottom and my heels. Okay. If you just watch, basically we're going to be bringing the hands back and we're going to be gently tucking our tailbone underneath us to create a stretch through the front of the thighs. Now for some of you that need a bit more support, A, you might want something between your bum and your heels, and B, you might want a little bit more height behind the hands. So this is where you might bring another bit of padding, so you're not reaching for the floor behind you. Keep your shoulders down, tuck your tailbone underneath you, but draw the core in, and then just very gently sit off those heels. Some of you might not need to sit off the heels to feel the stretch. Some of you might just need to tuck the tailbone underneath. Watch your shoulders haven't done this. Try not to lose your neck. Okay, otherwise keep the core engaged, tuck your tailbone underneath you and lift those hips a little bit higher. Okay, if you want to make this slightly dynamic, you could take one arm across the body and lift the hips. Come back down across the body, switch the arms and lift up the other way. So if you want to do a couple of those, if you're comfortable enough, try that one, but keep it nice and gentle. If you need to come off your knees for this one, come and sit up. That's it. Otherwise, you're just still. You're feeling the tailbone tuck underneath, the front of the thighs stretch. And then let's come up from there. Pillow and cushion away. And you guys are pretty much all finished. We'll just do one stretch from seated. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together. You could stay up on your cushion if you wanted, a little bit more height. Knees and hips softly out to the side, hands round the bottom of the legs or the ankles. We're going to breathe in and sit as tall as we can, and then we're going to breathe out and gently fold the body forwards and over our legs. Keep your chest lifted as much as you can. So if I face the side, you've folded, but you've not just dived down with the head. So think of folding belly button towards the mat. And then when you can't fold anymore, then relax the head down. And just take a couple of nice deep breaths there, in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time. Good. You might want to take one last forward stretch with the legs straight. Okay, inhaling, same thing again. Exhaling to just gently fold forward. Not sort of forcing any particular stretch, just allowing the back of the head. So even if you're here, your knees stay slightly bent, just relax the head forwards. So you could just be here. Breathe. So we've had quite a challenging class today in lots of different ways. So we are all finished. I'm sorry we're not managing to fit in a relaxation this evening. This is the first class that I've done on Zoom and not saved at least 5 minutes at the end, so I do apologise for that. But the beauty is, if you've got the time and no interruptions next, you guys could come onto your back and have 5 minutes relaxation to reward yourselves after that session if you wanted to. So well done for today's session. Tomorrow morning we have Thursday thighs, which is going to be a bit more of what we did on Saturday. So tomorrow's morning's class is replacing Saturday morning's class this week. It's at 10 o'clock tomorrow, and it's going to be more standing functional work like lunges and pliés. So feel free to join that tomorrow or Friday at 8:15. And just everyone give me a little thumbs up at the end just to check that everybody's with me still. Okie dokie. Right, well, I won't hold you on any longer because it's 2 minutes past 8, but thank you all for joining me. Maybe see you tomorrow at 10 or Friday morning at 8:15. Okie dokie. Bye, guys.